Okay guys, we are going to wrap up our trigonometry unit today. So what I'm going to do with you is we're just going to do a random questions, but I'm not going to tell you if it's sine law or cosine law. So you have to be able to look at every question and know if you should be using sine law or cosine law. You need to be able to write your setup, and then you need to be able to plug it into your calculator. Okay, so you're not given any help with picking out the formula, putting the numbers in the right spots, or the button pushing that's involved. This is something that you have to know how to do. So let's just review when you should use cosine law and when you should use sine law. So when you should use sine law is if you have a full match and a half match. So what I mean by a full match is you have the side and the angle. That's the full. So remember, you go side, angle, and then for the half match, let's say you know the side, but you're looking for the angle. So for the half match, again, you would go side, and then this is the one that you're looking for. So the way you do sine law is you cross multiply and divide, and you always cross multiply which does not have the letter on it. Okay? So when do you use cosine law? You have no full matches. Okay? So if you're looking for a side length, so let's say we're looking for this guy right here. That would mean then that you know this one, you know this one, and you know this one. So what you do is you would go c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. So in here, those are your sides, your two sides that you know. And then on the end, this is your pair. So this is what you're looking for. So that's your question mark. And then down here is its matching angle. So that's what would go right in there. Okay. Now, if you're looking for an angle, so I just need to switch this around here. If you're looking for the angle, so this is the one that you're looking for, which means you know this one. So the formula is cos c, so I'm just going to go question mark, equals a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. So what you do, oh, that little squared shouldn't be there, sorry. So what you do is you start here. So you start with the pair. So it's a half pair, so you start with this. So this one has to go into that number there. And then the other two sides go into the other two spots. Okay? Now, plugging in, if you're looking for a side length, remember you're going to square root the answer at the end. If you're looking for the angle, remember you're going to go second cos ANS. So on this one, if you're looking for a side, it's just cross multiply and divide. If you're looking for an angle, you still go the cross multiply and divide. But then as a second step, you go second sine ANS. Okay? So you're given all the formulas on the formula sheet. You just have to be able to pick out which one you should be using when and go from there. And your first step that you're going to do with every single question is you're going to ask yourself if you have any full sets. So the question says solve for y. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, do you have a full set? And you do right here. So you've got a full set. Now you're looking for y, which means this needs to be your half set. So here's the problem though. Right now it's an empty set because you don't have the angle and you don't have the side. However, you do know two corners. So I can find this corner very quickly. If I go 180 minus 59 minus 52. So 180 minus 59 minus 52. So we get out 69 degrees. Okay, so since I have a full set, I'm going to use sine law. Now you don't have to tell me that you're using sine law, you're just going to go ahead and do your setup. So remember, we've got full and we've got half. So the full is side length, so 8 centimeters over sine 59 equals y over sine 69. So again, I need to see that on your page. Okay? Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to cross multiply and divide. So you multiply the diagonal that does not have the letter. So that's what you're going to multiply, and then you divide by the sine 59. So we're going to go 8 times sine 69 divided by sine 59. Now again, we're just looking for the side length, so that is the answer. So y equals 8.7 centimeters. And again, if you're not told how to round, just round it any way that you like. If you are told how to round, make sure you round it properly. Okay? Okay, next one. Solve for x. So again, start off, ask yourself, do you have any full pairs? So I've got angle but no side, side but no angle, side but no angle. So I have no full sets. So this means I have to use the cosine law. Now, cosine law for side length. So remember, this is the cosine law for side length. Now again, you don't have to write out the formula. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. So start with your matching pair. So I'm looking for x squared. What matches it? 73 degrees. And in here is the two sides. So we've got 11 squared plus 21 squared minus 2 times 11 times 21. Okay? So we've got 11 squared plus 21 squared minus 2 times 11 times 21 times cos 73 times 11 times 21 times cos 73. Now again, that equals x squared. So how do you get rid of a squared? You square root. So I get out 20.66 or 20.7. And I'm going to make it centimeters. And again, didn't tell me how to round, so I'm just going to round it to the nearest tenth. Okay? Okay, a couple of words. Let's just go back and review this from grade 10. So angles of elevation and angles of depression. So an angle of elevation, so you have to go from a horizontal line. When you look up from that horizontal line, this is called the angle of elevation. Now sometimes it's called the angle of incline, and sometimes they'll put these two words together and they'll call it the angle of inclination. Okay? Angles of depression, this one's a little trickier. Again, it has to be from a horizontal line, but this time the angle goes down. Okay, so that is the angle of depression. Okay, but it has to be from a horizontal line down. So I just want to go over those two words with you just in case you see them in a problem-solving question. Okay, so it says here, a police helicopter uses a spotlight to look for suspicious activity one night, or at night. One particular night, the helicopter is flying 150 meters above the ground, and the radius of the illuminated area is 100 meters. So I don't know if you can see this here, but here's a circle, okay? So from the center to the edge of that circle, that's the radius. So that's 100 meters right there, okay? Adrian is standing on the ground at the far end of the illuminated area. So he is standing right here. That's where Adrian is standing, okay? And determines at the angle of elevation. So here's your horizontal line. He's looking up, so that's the angle of elevation is 40 degrees. Adrian's been asked to determine the angular width of the spotlight marked by theta. That should be a theta on the diagram. So we're looking for this right here. So even if you don't know what angular width is, you just have to go essentially based on the diagram. Okay, so what I hope you see here is I want you to be able to see two triangles. I hope that you see this predominant triangle right here, okay? And then I also hope that you see this right angle triangle right here. And there's actually a third triangle. There's another right angle triangle right there. Okay, so right now you don't have that angle, but you do have that side. So you've got a half a match there. We've also got a half a match here, and we've got nothing here. So I don't have enough right now to do sine law or cosine law. So I'm going to have to find something. So this thing is radius. From here to here, that's radius. So then from here to here, okay, I should be able to justify then what that is going to be. Okay, what do you think that's going to be? It's going to be 100 again, right? Because it's the half the distance. So I know now that this total distance is 200. So now I have this huge triangle here. So notice it's a right angle triangle. So I know this is 150. I know this is 200. I can find that side length using Pythagoras. Okay, now it's across from the box. So it's the hypotenuse. So I'm going to plug this in on my calculator. And then I'm going to square root to get out the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is 250. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and draw my attention now back to this thing right here. Now, I still don't have enough. Okay, so I know this, but I don't have that angle right there. So again, I've got that, but I don't have that angle, and there's no way that I can find it, I don't think. Or actually, I could. There's so many different ways I could do this question. This is where I'm going to do it. I'm going to find the hypotenuse of this guy right here, this triangle right here. So I'm going to find this length right here. So I'm going to go 150 squared plus 100 squared. Okay, so 150 squared plus 100 squared. And now I'm going to square root that answer. So I get out 180.27, so I'm going to go 180.3. Okay, so now if I'm going to just redraw this one triangle here. So this is what I'm looking for, and I know this is 100. I know this is 180.3, and I know this one is, what was that one there? 250. So there's my half match. So I'm going to use cos theta, I'm going to use cosine law, looking for the angle. So remember, always start with its match. So what does theta match? It matches the 100. So then I'm going to go, the other two sides go in the middle. Like that. Okay, so again, always start with that matching pair and then just plonk the other two sides in. So I'm just going to make that a little smaller so I can see what I'm doing here. So I've got 180, whoops, I need brackets. So 180.3 squared plus 250 squared minus 100 squared. Finish off that bracket and then divide by bracket 2 times 180.3 times 250. Hit enter. Now again, we're looking for an angle, and this is cosine law. So I'm going to go second cos of that answer, and I get out 19.4 degrees. So that angle is 19.4 degrees. Okay. Some of these questions are tricky. Now that again, that's not the only way to do that question. Another one that you could have done is again using this triangle right here. Okay, you could use SOHCAHTOA and find this angle. Then, since this is a straight line, you know that that's 180 degrees. So then you could have found that angle. Now I have one matching full pair, and I have half a pair, and you could have used sine law. There's so many different ways you could do this question. Okay, so many ways. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. So it says here, Brendan and Diana plan to climb the cliff at Dry Island Buffalo Jump, Alberta. They need to know the height of the climb before they start. Brendan stands at point B as shown in the diagram. He uses a clinometer. So that's just a device that helps you measure angles to determine angle ABC. So again, just how we read that, angle ABC means it goes from A to B to C. So Brendan's right here, so he measures that angle to be 76 degrees. I don't know if you can see on your notes, but this side here is a right angle triangle. Okay. He estimates angle CBD. So CBD, he estimates that one to be about 60 degrees. Diana, who's standing at point D, she estimates angle CDB to be about 50 degrees. Determine the height of the cliff to the nearest meter. Okay, first things first, I know this looks like 90 degrees, but you cannot assume that. Okay, you cannot assume that that equals 90 degrees because you're not told that it's 90 degrees. However, we do have 3 corners here. We know 2, so we can actually easily find that. So if I go 180 minus 50 minus 60, I get out 70 degrees. Okay, so it's not 90 degrees, it's 70 degrees. So I'm looking for the height of the cliff. So I am looking for that height right there. Okay. So in grade 10, when we had questions that involved 2 triangles, we always found the side in common. That's typically what we did. So I'm going to find this side right here. So I'm just going to put a question mark. So I'm just going to draw that triangle over here. So I know this is 70, this is 50, this is 60. I know this is 60 meters, and I'm looking for this side right here. So start with this. First off, it's not a right angle triangle, so you cannot use SOHCAHTOA. So we're either using sine law or cosine law. So do you have a full pair? Yes. So we're going to go full pair. So side length over angle equals. Now, where's your half pair? Your half pair is right here. Over angle. So again, that is your setup. That's what I need to see. Okay? So we're going to cross multiply the one that doesn't have the x. So that's our cross multiply. So we're going to go 60 times sine 50. And then divide that by sine 70. So I'm just looking for a side length, so that is it, 48.9. So this measures 48.9. So that's this guy right here. Now I'm into this triangle right here. So I'm just going to redraw that one right here. So this is the one I'm now looking for. I know this is 48.9. I know this is 76. So you have a couple options here. Probably the easiest thing to do with this question would be just to use SOHCAHTOA. Okay. I'll show you another option though. So if you want to use SOHCAHTOA, so you're going to stand at the 76. So this is opposite to your position. This is adjacent. So opposite and adjacent is tan. So equals opposite over adjacent. Okay. So again, put that over 1, cross multiply and divide. So that's your multiply, because again, you always multiply without the letter. So you're going to go tan 76 times 48.9 divided by 1. So tan 76, finish off the bracket, times 48.9 divided by 1. You get out 196. Okay, so tan 76. Okay, so 196.1 meters. Okay, so that's option 1. If you do not like that option, option 2 is this. If I know that angle there is 76 and I know this one here is 90, I can find this angle right here quite quickly. And I get that to be 14 degrees. Okay. Now I know this is 48.9. Whoops, 48.9. And I'm looking for this. So what I have here is I have a full pair. So side length over sine of its match equals half pair. So I can use sine law instead of SOHCAHTOA. Now, even though it's a right angle triangle, you can use sine law on a right angle triangle. You cannot use cosine law on a right angle triangle. So on my calculator, I'm going to go 48.9 times sine 76, finish off the bracket, divided by sine 14. And again, there's the side length, 196.127. Notice it's pretty much identical to the other method. Okay? So some questions you have options on. Some questions are a little bit more rigorous in how you have to solve them. But if you have options, don't worry about if your method is different than mine. As long as we all agree to our answer at the end, then we should be good to go. Always show your setups. Show me what you're doing on the calculators, right? So you're going to show me your sine law setup here, and then if you want, you would show me your SOHCAHTOA here, or you would show me your sine law here. I don't need to see what you're plugging into the calculator. You just have to show me what your setup is, and then what the answer is as a result. So that concludes our trigonometry unit. Make sure, again, you do the practice questions before the exam. If you have any troubles, I'm here to help. See you in the next one.